Welcome along to the live stream of Epsom and Ewell versus Farnham Town. Farnham going for history tonight. It would be 22 wins on the bounce if they can secure victory. Thank you for joining us instead of the Champions League. Hopefully we'll see an entertaining game. It's certainly top versus bottom. Farnham Town in great form. Didn't get a game on Saturday, but hopefully some of you are with us for the 3-1 win over Kingstonian in the Surrey Senior Cup. I've got Harry Hugo with me.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Good.
I watched the Kingstonian coverage from Thailand, 5 AM, and it was fantastic. I thought the boys did a great job and passed the ball really well and kind of increased their level to a team that is obviously a couple of levels above despite struggling. And it's actually teams like Epsom and Ewell this evening that I have a bit more reservation about, because they'll come here to not lose, and they'll set up in a way to nullify our attacking threats. Maybe that'll be in sitting all 10 men behind the ball. Maybe it will just be an incredibly high press, and we've seen teams try that and be successful for periods of the game, but it's whether or not they can keep it up for 90 minutes against this Farnham team. But I'm excited to see it. It's only down the road from me, so yeah, nice one.
Yeah, it's a bit of a new look Epsom and Ewell team. Obviously been through a bit of turbulence this season, and the main thing for them obviously is just surviving. They've lost 5 on the bounce, and maybe Farnham Town coming to visit isn't necessarily the first thing you want when you're in that sort of form.
No, it's not. They played Croydon Athletic, who were also on a really good run last weekend, and got taken apart really. 5-2 probably flattered them based on the highlights I've watched. So, you know, I think for this game they'll just be looking to get it out of the way. They've obviously got to avoid relegation this season after coming up last year, and that, you know, this game is not going to define their season as it didn't when we beat them 5-1 at home earlier this year. So, yeah, look, they'll give it a good go. I think they are going to press man for man really hard, and like I said, it'll be about whether or not and how long they can do that for, whilst they try and keep Farnham at bay and hit them on the counter-attack.
Absolutely, an interesting lineup for Farnham tonight, as we see both Charlie Postums and Shamal Edwards striding over to the bench. Neither start tonight. Instead, it's Owen Dean alongside Adam Little. 2 players love to press from the front, and they're gonna really harry the Epsom and Ewell defenders, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And what I also would say is another omission from the starting lineup after some really good form is Lewis Flatman. I think he's got 5 goals in his last 3 appearances. So, you know, he's definitely a form man coming off the bench as well for us later. So, plenty of firepower. Kai's also been really, really good off the bench in recent weeks. So, look, Farnham, we know, have got a superior squad here. It's just about whether or not they can, you know, put the pressure aside of the record that they're looking to break this evening and focus on the job at hand.
Will that record be on the players' minds at all?
I think it naturally will be. I know Jono hasn't really thought about it, given it too much thought. His thought has always been, how early can we win the league? How can we make this not that important towards the end of the season, and just get promoted? That's always been the mandate from the start. So for me, I think, you know, there'll be certain players which a record will mean more to than others. I know some of the Farnham boys, your Owen Deans, your Tom Smiths, you know, those boys, you know, want to build some legacy here at Farnham. You've got some boys here that have come in from higher levels who also want to make an impact and make it clear that they've dropped down, but they're still making things happen at the very, very top level at this step 5. So I think from both sides, I think people are thinking about it, but it's not the overwhelming priority. Promotion is, and putting another 3 points up tonight.
Welcome along to this coverage of Epsom and Ewell versus Farnham Town. Farnham are going for a record 22 consecutive league victories. Lining up for them tonight is in goal Pat Nash. In defence it's Joe Jackson, Jack Dean, Brian Kinane and Brandon Kalu. Harry Cooksley partners Lamar Karema in midfield. And in attack it's Daryl Sanders and Dean Rule behind Owen Dean and Adam Little. On the bench it's Tom Smith, Kai Tanner, Lewis Flatman, Shamal Edwards and Charlie Postums. For Epsom and Ewell, it's Toby Colwell in goal, Ethan Charles Brazier, Jerry Antwi, Adam Green, Rhys Tierney, Nick Wilson, Mekki Savage, Rory Edwards, Carla Blighty, Twani Eshilokan, Ethan Nelson Roberts, and on the bench it's Reggie Savage, Ollie Hollam, Thompson Adiemi and Sirak Nagasi. And a quick start is important for Farnham tonight.
Yeah, it is. It's probably where Farnham have been the weakest so far this season. That sort of first 10 minutes, it's also where teams come out super hot, want to prove a point against this Farnham side, and it's about keeping it tight at the back, which Farnham have done so well this season. I think we put it out this week, but Farnham have actually not conceded a goal first this season at all. They've spent 0 minutes trailing in the league, which is a pretty ridiculous stat considering we're 21 games deep. But they'll be looking to replicate that again tonight, get an early goal, as we did on this pitch against Cobham earlier in the season with Shamal Edwards scoring after about 3 or 4 minutes. So 4G suits Farnham as well, what I would say. We get to play on 4G 7 times in this league, and with technical players like Dean Rule, Daryl Sanders, Harry Cooksley, and even the back four who like to keep themselves on the ball. 4G really does make a difference, and also because it's not raining, but it's obviously been damp over the course of the last 24 hours. There's going to be a bit of a zip on the ball over the course of this surface as well, which will play into the benefit of the likes of Liddell and Sanders.
And just to paint the picture of the record, I know we keep talking about it, but could you explain exactly what it is, what we think Farnham are on the cusp of achieving?
Yeah, look, I think first of all, it's really difficult to find stats in non-league. Because we're talking about a British record that goes through the years, but we're talking about the longest streak of wins from the start of the season. Not talking about a win streak. We know there's been loads of long win streaks in non-league. We're talking about a win streak from the start of the season without dropping a point. Farnham are on 21. AFC Wimbledon did 21. Tonight is 22. Hopefully, Farnham know they have to do it, and they've got 90 minutes to do it.
And they get us underway. Shooting from right to left as we look on.
It's always interesting the first couple of minutes, I know we just talked about it, to see what the other team are going to do. So they're setting up with back four, by the looks of things, 3 holding midfielders, and looks like a front 3. So I think it's a 4-3-3. But it'll be interesting to see how that changes over the course of the game. I think when we played Epsom and Ewell last time out, obviously under different management, they played with a back 5. Seen that a couple of times against Farnham, just to go man for man with this 4-2-2-2. But it'll be interesting to see what the next sort of 10 minutes looks like.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes on against Kingstonian last week, probably you'd say the visitors had the better of the early going. It took Farnham maybe 15-20 minutes to settle in, but then as soon as they did, that goal came very quickly from Flatman.
Yeah, it's not been something that we haven't seen time and time again. I think even in the league, it's such a key period of time for this Farnham team to just settle down, get into their rhythm. I've talked about it lots of times on live streams and on highlights. It's just when Farnham start knocking the ball about around the back, that's when they're most dangerous. They're just prying to find those openings.
That ball there from Canane just had a bit too much on it, and it'll probably take him a minute or two to get used to this surface as well. That skidded off the turf as Owen Dean chased it down. Yeah,
and that'll be also one of the reasons that Shamal Edwards doesn't start this evening, and you're going to get Owen Dean up front with Adam Liddell. Shams, for how effective he is on grass against really good sides who try and play against us probably a bit more man for man. The ball holds up a bit more on grass, so you can play the ball over the top. On this surface, it's just so hard, especially with the dew on the top. And they'll also be so deep, so playing a ball in behind is going to be really tough. Farnham are going to have to pass their way around.
Epsom and Ewell not really committing many forward in the early going, as is expected. Jack Dean clips it over the top and it's dealt with, but it will be a throw for Farnham.
Sanders picking up a huge amount of space on this left-hand side, completely unmarked, so Farnham can get it across quickly, which they'll try to here. Canane couldn't quite get under control, but Sanders is really trying to keep himself on this left-hand side.
Yeah, Nash spotted it, but wasn't enough on his kick. And again, Epsom and Ewell happy to just knock it out for a throw. Brandon Kalu gets the nod again tonight, ahead of Tom Smith.
Yeah, I think Brandon's been good. I think he's been good. I think he had a rocky start. He hadn't played a lot of football at the start of this season. Played all last season at Northwood into the playoffs and stepped 4 level above. And He didn't play football at the start of the season, but got into this Farnham team when we needed a bit of defensive cover, and has really grown into it.
Jackson, not enough on his pass back, and it might present an opportunity for the hosts. And Pat Nash had to make the save there from Nelson Roberts, but a bit sloppy there from Farnham.
Yeah, it was uncharacteristic from Joe Jackson, really. Normally he's Mr. Don't do anything stupid, and it was just a bit lax. Didn't quite get enough on it, and forged an opportunity for Epsom. And you'd have to think that those are the sort of chances that Epsom are going to need to take.
Owen Dean wins the flick, and now Joe Jackson finds Liddell on the edge of the box.
He should score.
And it went across the goalkeeper, but his glancing effort.
He should score really, Liddell.
Wide.
He should definitely put it on target. It was a great move from Farnham, move from front back to front really, really quickly. Nice flick on. Joe Jackson got beyond his man after, a poor touch only moments ago in defence. Really, really good square pass to Liddell, who was on rushing, and he should hit the target. Liddell, he's in good form.
Yeah, he scored 13 goals this season, Liddell, including one, the clincher really, against Kingstonian a week ago. Here's Owen Dean on the right-hand side. Loves to dribble into the penalty area in these situations. Said he cuts back to Cooksley. And now Dean Rule. Sanders, it's his range. Good effort. Goalkeeper did well.
Great strike from Daryl Sanders. Forced a bit of space, and it's a great strike. And goalkeeper did well.
Yeah, already a couple of warning signs there for Epsom and Ewell. Chances for both Liddell and Flatman. For Sanders. Not too many you want chances to fall to if you're the hosts. Goes down the line. Farnham ball.
Farnham looked dangerous over the last sort of couple of minutes. Really got themselves into the game. Not sure what he's slowing the ball down here for, the referee.
One thing that I know you'll like about this pitch is that your heart won't stop as much when the ball goes back to Pat Nash. There'll be no bobbling in there.
I like Pat Nash on 4Gs. Kicks the ball brilliantly. Look, don't get me wrong. Pat kicks the ball brilliantly on every surface. I just hate it when a goalkeeper has to do more than he probably needs to when the ball's passed back to him and it's bobbling around in these Step 5 pitches.
Rule looking for Dean. It's cut out. Farnham looking to exploit those wide areas.
Yeah, so much so far on that right-hand side.
Farnham always very patient in possession, happy to work it from side to side. Kalu. Sanders. Again, another throw-in.
I'd like to say how good the Farnham travelling support is this evening on a cold February evening. Very, very impressive, and we'd like to thank everybody who's joined us here at Epsom, and also people who are watching online. We really do appreciate it.
Rule looking for Sanders, a bit behind him, but he recovers. Rule again. And here's Cooksley. Good touch from him to get away from his man. And he finds his way to Sanders. And here's Rule. Chance for him. And a goal! Farnham take an early lead, and it's Dean Rule in great form. And it was lovely football from Farnham. And a clinical finish.
It was clinical. It's unlike Farnham, how clinical it was. I mean, we've seen a couple of chances early on. Harry Cooksley did really, really well to forge the opening. Came to Daryl Sanders. I thought he was going to shoot based on his shot only 2 minutes ago, but snuck it into Dean Rule and finished with aplomb. Really, really good. And this is where Farnham just need to keep going and score a couple more before half-time and kill this game off.
Yeah, the ideal start, and we said before the game, Lewis Flatman might have felt hard done by, but it's hard to drop Dean Rule at the moment.
It is. I mean, all those boys. I mean, I think it's fair to say we had a bit of a lull in confidence up front, which is mad. Farnham at that point had scored about 105 goals in all competitions, and it was in like early January. I think it coincided with the Vars defeat, and there was a bit of a lull in confidence in front of goal. But there's definitely not a lull anymore, and lots of the front boys are getting on the score sheet and making it pay, both when they start and also coming off the bench.
And it all stemmed really from Harry Cooksley. whose clever feet in midfield created the opening initially. Here he is again, Cooksley. To Brandon Kalu, who has Sanders with him. Looking for Liddell. Gets to the byline. Kalu's in support. He ignores him.
Tried to win something there, didn't he? That's really good though.
Karoma. To Dean Rule.
Shoot, Ruley.
And now Jackson getting forward plenty. Farnham happy just to keep it and wait for the opening. Here's Kalu again. Canane.
I think this partnership's growing as well. The Kalu, Canane, Sanders partnership down the left-hand side. I think we're seeing that, and Kalu find himself a bit more comfortable than he was in those on-the-ball situations.
Here's Liddell. Cut out there, but here's Kalu. Cooksley comes and shows. It's all Farnham.
Farnham had the ball for a long time here. This will be where it's really difficult for Epsom to just keep their shape with so many moving players in front of them, especially on this 4-2-2 formation, 4-2-2-2 formation.
Rule. Cooksley. Very patient from Farnham, who have that lead.
It's always different when you've got a 1-0 lead. Always.
Jack Dean. Jackson. Again, a loose touch from him, but still Farnham keep hold of it. Cooksley. Kalu has all sorts of space on the left flank if they want to switch it. He's calling for it, but here's Canane.
Farnham must have had the ball for 2 minutes here. Oh, you'd have thought the man to keep it would have been Daryl Sanders, and he's given it away.
Yeah, he was just trying something a bit more difficult there, trying to slide Kalu in on the left-hand side.
It's tiring though when you're an opposition team having to follow the ball for that length of time from side to side.
Cooksley's cross is too heavy, unlike him.
Good start from Farnham. Look good on the ball, look confident. Just going to have to forge the openings as and when they present themselves, but 1-0 lead this early on certainly bodes well.
Yeah, very difficult for Epsom and Ewell now. But Kingstonian, obviously a couple of steps above, but they showed that going behind against Farnham doesn't necessarily mean it's game over. They showed a lot of character and resilience to get back into the game, not once but twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not the best kick.
Wow.
And not the best touch either, and Sanders will smell something here.
Great touch, that. Great touch.
Ball played through the middle. It's going to roll through to Nash.
Pat did well there.
Looked to play it through.
That is a really good bit of distribution from Pat Nash, and Farnham are away here.
Yeah, they got numbers. Jackson again. Here's Rule and Sanders. His shot was blocked. It was a good leave by Rule to allow Sanders a space, but here come Epsom and Ewell again. Bit of encouragement for them, maybe.
No one beyond him, though, is there?
Yeah, Savage was calling for support.
He did so well. They're the opportunities, Epsom, to get forward on the counter-attack, especially when Canane stepped up. And no one was with him. Couldn't move the ball fast enough.
There's Charles Brazier. Beats Kalu. Adam Liddell gets back in to help.
Does really well, Liddell.
Dispossesses
really well.
Edwards. And now Rule. You can just tell he's got a bit of swagger about him after that goal.
Yeah, he's such a pretty player to watch on the ball. He just looks effortless when he's on song. It just looks so easy for him.
Yeah, and in truth, it looks easy for Farnham at the moment, but long way to go. The standards that they set for themselves, they won't allow themselves to get complacent against a team fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, and like I said, this game and this result, whatever it may be, whatever the scoreline may be, is not going to define Epsom and Ewell's season. the games against that sort of bottom 5 are going to be what make the difference. I know they lost recently to Shearwater, which was a big result at the bottom of the table, and those are the games that are going to make a difference to this Epsom side to see if they can stay in the league.
Kalu wins the header. Owen Dean will collect. Cooksley. And now Liddell. Referee got in his way there. And now Canane steps in and prods it to Sanders. The flag stays down. Sanders looking over the top for Dean. We've seen a few of those balls aimed in that direction. This time it is kept in.
They're 2 good balls, actually. So hard on these surfaces, though, to keep those under control.
And Obliti there was outnumbered. Bit of a lone figure up front.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that Canane is just going to absolutely enjoy. That was very poor, though, just as I say it. Commentator's curse.
Intercepted that, but Karoma was alert to the danger. And now Kalu.
He's got away with that.
Sanders dancing his way through the defence.
Another poor pass.
And
it's a sensible foul. It's a sensible foul.
Yeah, Eshiloka not happy.
Farnham just a couple of sloppy passes there in good areas, which will frustrate the management on the other side after a spell of some really good passing. It's been a spell of some really poor passing.
Adam Green stands over the free kick.
These are the sort of opportunities that Farnham want to limit, though. The ball's in the box.
It's floated high. Pat Nash comes to claim and does well to punch, but not fully away.
Chance.
Cross just doesn't beat Jackson. Claims of handball.
I think they were very hopeful claims. 256 of you watching online. Thank you very much, and drop the subscribe with the subscribe button below the video if you can and you're not subscribed already. Thank you very much, and do get in the comments as well. Let us know what you think the score will be at full time. Again, I know we're going to talk about it quite a lot this evening, but Farnham are chasing a record. 22 wins at the start of the season. We don't think it's ever been done in Britain before. AFC Wimbledon did 21, Farnham currently 21. Hopefully Farnham can do 22 this evening, and they got off to a good start.
It's come into a promising area here for Epsom and Ewell, and the shot is not a bad one. Nash was scrambling across, just over the bar in the end from Green.
Great strike, but yeah, Farnham just need to, collect themselves, get back to that passage of play that we saw about 5 minutes ago, where they kept the ball for 2 minutes from side to side. Those are the things that are going to tire out this Epsom and Ewell side, and they won't have the depth off the bench that Farnham do, and then it'll be about killing them off in the second half. But I think one of the key things that Jono's talked about quite a lot is trying to kill off teams early, and it's actually not been something Farnham have been very good at. They've actually relied on their second half performances quite a lot during the season, and
here's Rule. Switches it across to Sanders. Inch perfect pass from Rule, the goal scorer. Karoma. Good feet from him. Driving forward and brought down.
Yeah, it was really well won. He's so good at that, Lamar, like getting his body in the way.
Now I wonder what we might see here with both Cooksley and Sanders standing over this free kick.
We know Lamar's got an outstanding toe injury.
He's taking his time to get back to his feet. And Sanders has spotted the ball down with intent.
He is a long way out, Daryl Sanders, but the goalkeeper, despite making a couple of good saves, has looked a bit... He hasn't held on to anything yet. I think it's probably a better way to put it. So it'll be players following this up that I'd be looking at. Is Lamar okay? Oh, he's walked off.
Three men in the wall for Epsom and Ewell. Sanders to Harry Cooksley, deflected, and the goalkeeper got down well.
One off the training ground for Farnham Town.
Just took a little nick on the way through from Cooksley. Probably didn't make the keeper's life any easier.
I love those sort of strikes on 4G because they just skim off the top of the surface. So difficult for a goalkeeper to judge the speed it's coming at them with.
Not the best corner, but Dean Rule can collect on the edge of the box. And now Sanders goes back to Karoma, who looks to be okay. Been an important figure for Farnham this season, Lamar Karoma.
Yeah, important in the sense that there's just not that many good players at this level like him. You know, there's so many players at this level who want to score goals. And Lamar, that's not his game, and he's very good at just keeping the ball ticking over in the middle and passing it off to the ball players in front of him, which there are a plethora. He has got on the score sheet once this season. It was a really good goal, but yeah, that's not what he's there to do.
Picks up the second ball here and looks straight for Sanders, whose flick round to Rule was lovely. Sanders picks it up again.
It's good.
Owen Dean shoots with his left foot. Didn't get much on the effort. Cooksley. Farnham will come again here.
Great pass out wide, sensible.
Rule has a lot of space, which he drives into. Now Sanders looking for Liddell. Well defended by Charles Brazier, but they just cannot get out for any sort of sustained period, Epsom and Ewell at the moment. Every time they clear the ball, it seems to drop to a Farnham shirt.
Yeah, but Farnham not, you know, despite their dominance, oh, this is dangerous. Despite their dominance, they haven't carved out a huge amount of chances so far.
Canane looks long. That one's cut out. And Karoma
Brilliant.
won the ball fairly. And here's Sanders, and there is space. And there are numbers. Adam Liddell's in. And he's round the goalkeeper. Just couldn't get the shot off. His touch just got away from him a little bit, but Farnham still have it.
It was a brilliant pass. It was a brilliant pass. Liddell did everything right, really. It's one of those where you actually almost expect him to go over. But he saw the goal gaping, and again, we've said it a couple of times already in this commentary, but the ball does just skid on a bit further than you expect because of these artificial surfaces. But another really, really nice piece of play from back to front for Farnham.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves out there. They'd love a second goal to cap off this dominance. Cooksley's delivery. It's away. And this time, they're able to bring it out fully. And Canane's out of position. Kalu
does well. Kalu does well. Yeah, those are the situations Farnham just need to protect against. Breaks away from set pieces.
Yeah, they'll be happy that it's just 1-0 at the moment, Epsom and Ewell. They don't want to let this get away from them this early on.
That was probably the best chance Farnham have had. You know, even though they've put the ball in the back of the net, that was probably the best chance.
Sanders looking to create another one. He's got Liddell making a run again. Here's Jack Dean. Maybe the clubhouse leader for goal of the season at the moment.
I think so. Although the one that Daz scored at home against this lot was pretty special as well. But yeah, I think Jack Dean's from a centre back is probably goal of the season. Struck it so sweet.
Kalu. Sanders really running the game at the moment. Daryl Sanders.
Very good.
Here's Dean Rule. Had a sight of goal there for a moment.
Thought he was going to shoot.
Cooksley. Owen Dean. Clipped in by Sanders. Again, not fully dealt with by Epsom and Ewell.
They've done really well there, Lids. Farnham just look like they want every ball.
Dean. And Rule again. Keeper again.
Yeah.
Made the save, but if a Farnham player was gambling there, it could have been 2-0.
I haven't seen him hold on to the ball yet, the keeper. I think he's made some good saves, don't get me wrong. But on this surface, it's tough to keep hold of them when they skim towards you, and he's not really kept one in his hands yet.
Get the feeling it might be a busy night for Toby Colwell.
Yeah, and it was he'll be a standing goalkeeper based on an injury on Saturday.
Here's Kalu. Brandon Kalu.
Yeah, he got a nosebleed. Got a nosebleed. He couldn't believe the space he had in front of him.
They are leaving him a lot of space on the left-hand side, whether by design or not. He's open again here for Sanders, and he plays him in. Can he keep it in?
He can.
He cuts it back.
Oh, Daz didn't gamble.
Nobody following in on the edge of the box for Farnham. So it's cleared. And they'll get some respite, as Blighty was fouled there by Jack Dean.
Yeah, disappointing. Another good opportunity for Farnham to work the ball into a more promising area. Daz just didn't really gamble when the ball came out to the edge of the box.
You'd have loved to have seen Brandon Kalu let fly from there.
And it was sat up perfectly on his left foot. I thought he was just going to strike across the goalkeeper, but like I said, got a nosebleed, turned it off.
So, first opportunity really, Epsom and Ewell to commit multiple bodies forward. Forward it goes, Canane underneath it, and Kalu just clears his lines for now. Epsom and Ewell need something to turn the momentum in their favour.
Just keep people abreast of the scores around the grounds. Nap Hill currently drawing 0-0 away at Camberley.
Liddell is chasing this one down, and the goalkeeper hesitated, and Adam Liddell scores! With a very smart finish. Liddell was more determined there than Colwell, and Farnham have got two.
It's the hardest chance we've had all game, and it's gone into the back of the net. Brilliant determination, great pass over the top from Daz, and it's a brilliant finish from Adam Liddell, really is, and he'll be delighted with that. 14th of the season. I was just rounding up the scores from around the ground.
He could have taken it around the keeper again, but maybe as a reaction to what happened last time.
Yeah, just boot it in the back of the net, Adam. Let's not faff around. 2-0, very good. Alton have beaten Fleet 2-1 at Fleet. That's quite an interesting game, because if Alton win that, you start to see them as true playoff contenders. And yeah, it's 0-0 between Camberley and Nap Hill. Cobham are playing. Hold on, who are they playing? Cobham are playing Tooting and Mitcham, that's 0-0. And it looks like Sandhurst 0-0 as well. But this is where Jono will just want another goal before half time. Kill this game off.
Karoma challenges for it again. Clipped over the top.
Again, don't want to keep having to say it, but those balls just do not work on these surfaces. But Farnham will be delighted. 2-0 up, 2 good goals.
Kalu hooks it out for a throw. So Adam Liddell is now out on his own in 3rd place in the goal scoring standings with 14 for the season. Chasing down Sanders and Edwards on 18.
Yeah, and you know he's going to get the starts, Adam Liddell. Worth also noticing that, hold on, whilst Epsom attack, chance here.
Yeah, can he get the shot off? Turns back instead, and Liddell.
Is that Lids didn't start the season at Farnham, so he's played less games than quite a lot of the other players. And also he had a 3-match ban because of his red card away at Guildford City. So his actual goals and goal involvements per 90 is pretty good.
And he offers you a lot more as well, as we saw just a moment ago. Tracking back. Charles Brazier. Always.
What a pass that is from Canane.
Here's Owen Dean, who'd love to get in on the act himself. Liddell on the right-hand side with Sanders for support. Instead, Liddell dribbles into a crossing area. And it was well cut out.
Yeah, you just want a Farnham body gambling as that ball comes out. Oh, that's great from Harry Cookson. It's been dominant so far from Farnham. It really has. It's about as dominant as I've seen them all season.
Offside flag goes up against Dean Rule. Just a bit too eager that time.
275 people watching along with us this evening. Some Step 5 action. 275 of you have ditched the Champions League. TNT Sports will be hurting on those ratings. That's about 50% of their viewership.
Witnessing history if it carries on like this.
Yeah, Farnham will just want another goal. Another goal. So will the subs, because it means they'll get more minutes.
Savage.
He's looked quite lively, Seven.
Referee in the way that time, so they'll stop the game. Epsom and Ewell feeling a bit hard done by, probably a bit fed up with this game.
Thought he was going to do it again, the ref.
Charles Brazier.
No foul here. These are the areas you don't want to give them a crossing chance.
And Farnham defend it very well. And every time they win the ball back, they seem to be in. Here's Liddell. Keeps the ball in play, but his touch couldn't quite get his feet sorted out.
I thought he did everything he needed to do with just keeping the ball in. It was a brilliant pass around the corner from Sanders.
Yeah, dropping deep a lot tonight, Sanders.
Farnham just had so much of the ball, haven't they? Just keep it ticking over. I think him and Ruley have been everywhere. Right, left, deep, playing as the 9, been everywhere.
Rule. Lamar Karoma. Cries of just keep it from Daryl Sanders, and I think that's what Farnham will.
They'll want this Epsom and Ewell team to come out. You know, they're so deep when they're defending that they just want to build those bit of pockets of space. There you go. There's one. That's picks up.
Great close control from Sanders. And now Jack Dean. Cooksley goes back to Nash.
Nash basically playing as an outfield player.
Canane.
Kalu fancies it, doesn't he? Fancies getting in behind. Oh.
Owen Dean. Judged to have fouled Nelson Roberts there.
Does Owen Dean's reputation precede him? Happy to go to ground, Owen Dean, quite a lot. But he's normally very good at it. He's obviously got one red card this season. Not sure he'll even contend that one.
At the most inopportune time.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was planning that afternoon, I have to say.
Ball floated up again, and again, Ryan Canane wins the header. The flag is up.
If I'm the Epsom manager, I'm beside myself in fury with that. Like, you're only going to get so many opportunities, and when you've got an unguarded opportunity to get the ball into the box, especially with some of the height that Epsom have across the pitch, it's just like so frustrating that you just give it straight back to Farnham.
Kalu just looking for that run of Liddell.
It's not his game. And nor should it be Farnham's. They've been so successful knocking it short and finding the pockets. It's getting quite wet out there.
Another long ball forward. Another one that Farnham deal with. And here's Karoma. Looking to drive through. But Epsom and Ewell in midfield do well, and
they're committing some bodies here.
Again, the ball's lofted up towards Savage this time.
No foul here from Kalu.
The overlap was there from Charles Brazier. Who has it now? Eshelokan. Charles Brazier again. Into Savage. Kalu dived in well.
About 35 minutes on the clock. I haven't got the actual clock in front of me, but that's a silly, silly foul.
Yeah, they just got to get the delivery right on this one. That's probably been a bit wasteful from the set pieces so far, I'd say, from Epsom and Ewell. but this one's in a much more promising area of the pitch for them.
Yeah, these are the ones that Farnham just need to avoid giving away. They are hard to defend against.
And there was no danger there, really.
No. They've not forced a single opening bar a mistake from Joe Jackson in the first 5 minutes. But these opportunities are good ones.
Adam Green will whip this one in. It's a good delivery. And Savage
Done well.
get a shot off, but again, it's off target from him.
Struck it really well. They've had 2 good strikes from distance. Neither have troubled Nash, really. I'm not sure Nash has actually made a save bar a punch from across.
Yeah, he's had some quiet evenings and afternoons this season.
I think he'll enjoy games like this, though. Well, obviously, he preferred to be making saves, but he's been on the ball so much. And I know that's something that he's so good at. Distribution's very good, his touch is great, and obviously he's got such a good ball-playing centre-back pairing in Canane and Jack Dean that it's quite easy for him to play with.
Farnham win the throw.
Sanders again in acres of space right in front of us. Just on the touchline. We'll hope that Farnham will move the ball quickly from right to left.
Good control there by Dean, but he's just hustled out of possession there. Karoma
Play the ball.
looking to sweep it across there to the area where Rule and Sanders were. Sanders wins that header, but first bit of possession really well, as I say that.
So wasteful.
It is
so
wasteful. Just seen a bit more of the ball these last few minutes, Epsom and Ewell.
That's not a great pass. Oh, that wasn't a great touch. Canane and Dean got away with that.
Here's Rule. Keeps it in play. And again, they're going to work it from side to side. Daryl Sanders picking up that pocket. And now Jackson.
It wasn't his best pass of the evening, Sanders. Slowed the attack down.
Little.
That's much better from Farnham. And they've let him turn.
Driving forward here. No flag against Owen Dean, who's into the area. Just crowded out, but it is a corner.
Farnham just they hesitate, the forward players, just to get that shot off. I understand it in the opening exchanges when we're trying to force mistakes and goals, but at this time, just have a crack at it before half time. Try and get that third. I thought Owen just had a tiny bit of space there just to take a snapshot and ended up trying to take on the player. And we have got a corner off it.
And it almost came through to Canane, who just got in front of that one, but he will collect. Kalu. Across to Jackson, the opposite fullback. Both men have played right back and left back at times this season due to injuries. Good turn by Dean Rule.
Go on.
And he's got Adam Liddell with him. And now Karoma. Given away by Kalu.
That must be so demoralising for the striker. He's completely isolated up there.
Sanders round the corner for Rule. Avoids the challenge.
Great pass.
And here's Dean. Owen Dean just cuts it back into an area where nobody was attacking. Not for the first time tonight. And that ball, Canane wants offside and gets it. Good line there from Farnham. Sanders dropping very deep. Just has license to do so.
Yeah, I think between him and Ruley, the ball's basically just been totally at their feet all game. They've been so good in there, finding the pockets, both in and around the box. and as deep as the halfway line, picking up the ball. I think Rule has been really, really good in this first half, and obviously got his goal.
Sanders cuts that one out, and he's hobbling and goes down in the penalty area. That's the last thing that Paul Johnson will want to see. I think it was just an impact injury there, maybe picked up a knock. He's still down. He's really been running this game. It's the last thing, as I say, that Paul Johnson
I think
wants
it is
to see.
just an impact injury as he went into the tackle. I think he'll be all right. We're only minutes away from half-time as well. I think regardless, we'll see Daz play the next 5 minutes.
He goes down again, and he's going to receive some treatment. Just maybe some studs on the ankle or the shin.
Yeah. I think with how close it is to half-time, they might even play with 10 men. Keep an eye on the bench.
No reason to risk
No,
keeping
not
him
at all.
on in any
No,
regard.
not at all. But you've obviously got half-time where you can properly assess it. Natural replacement would be Lewis Flatman, who's obviously in hot form. Daz has had a few niggly injuries over the course of the season. Quad injury kept him out for 3 or 4 weeks. Came off as precaution against Spelthorne with a bit of a hamstring twinge.
Yeah, he's back to his feet.
But he looks all right. I think we'll see him through to half-time at the very least.
Yeah, he's jogging off the pitch, so all appears to be well.
I think he's bought himself some time there.
But we saw something similar with Cooksley a few weeks ago, didn't we? And he ended up missing a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that was at Red Hill away. That was a cold night, though, wasn't it? That will always emphasise it. I'm not saying it's warm tonight as we sit here in beanie hats and coats, but it's certainly warmer than that night. I think it was like -2, -3 that night. It was horrible.
And we saw some Sanders magic that evening.
We did. We did.
Not for the first or last time, I'm
That
sure.
is... Farnham just trying to force it a bit there. Farnham are down to 10 men for the time being. I think they might be heeding my advice.
Canane gets up. That's hooked on there by Cooksley. Dean looking to use his body to maintain possession.
It was the right decision, just couldn't quite execute it.
Yeah, Sanders back on the pitch, still hobbling a little bit as Epsom and Ewell come forward.
Farnham needs to be careful here. It's the last thing they want to do is concede a foul, and that is exactly what they've done.
Yeah, they've conceded quite a few in these areas.
Silly tackles. So keen to get the ball back.
Yeah, both fullbacks have been guilty of it.
Just let them try and work the ball across the box. It's so difficult against this energetic Farnham side. Such a silly foul, and such a good area for Epsom, especially with an in-swinging cross, to upset the apple cart at the striker half-time when Farnham have been incredibly dominant. Important moment, you think? These sort of things?
In-swinger comes in, and Nash will collect that one easily.
Does well. That's probably the best part of his game.
They've just not made the most of these set-piece situations, have they?
That would be so frustrating for Epsom and your management, new management as well. Like, I don't think they've been bad, Epsom and your. I really don't. I think Farnham have been electric on the ball, as we know they can be, but Epsom just haven't done what they need to do when they have got the ball forward and have had those dangerous set-piece opportunities.
Yeah, it was always going to be a tall order tonight for Epsom and Ewell, coming off the back of 5 straight defeats. And they'll actually be hoping for a favour from Farnham on Saturday.
They will.
If that game goes ahead. Against Collier's Wood.
I'm hearing from my reporter on the hello.
Oh, Blighty. And his hamstring looks to have gone.
Someone shot him. Someone
He was
shot
in
him.
a race there with Canane and pulled up quickly.
I'm told from my touchline reporter on the other side of the pitch that it's just a little twist of Daz's knee, but he's all right, just impact. And they'll have a look at it properly at half-time. But he's okay.
He doesn't look delighted as he converses with Adam Liddell there.
It was those two who linked up for the second goal.
What a lovely goal it was.
Proper striker's goal. It was only moments before that we saw them link up probably
In similar fashion.
very similar fashion. And it was probably an easier chance for Liddell just to round the goalkeeper, but he overhit his touch around the goalkeeper and couldn't quite turn it home. But it was a harder chance that he converted only 2 or 3 minutes later as he hoisted it over the goalkeeper's head and it bounced into the roof of the net.
Sanders now in the 20s for assists this season.
Yeah, a bit silly, isn't it? How many goal contributions is that? 18 goals?
Well, he got the assist for Dean Rule as well, didn't he?
Yes.
So that's up to 39 goal contributions.
Not bad for February.
18 goals, 21 assists.
Not bad for February, not bad for a midfielder.
No. He's missed some games.
He's missed a lot of games, to be fair. Well. He's missed a lot of games. The players absolutely hate this stat, but he's the only player at Farnham Town's squad who has not lost a game this season. Players hate it, but it's true. Daz has won every single game that he's played in a Farnham Town shirt, which is a pretty ridiculous record. But it also means he strategically missed the games that are harder.
Yeah, that will annoy Ryan Canane.
Yeah, it really will. It really will. Cooksey hates it as well, I know that.
Fourth official just preparing the board for what looks like it's going to be a first half substitution for Epsom and Ewell as Owen Dean picks up the ball.
Great touch that.
And here's Rule and Karoma. Just running into a bit of a tricky spot.
Yeah,
And that is half-time. Farnham 2 goals to the good, thanks to Dean Rule and Adam Liddell. Very dominant performance. And Farnham are halfway towards 22 wins from 22 games in the league this season.
Yeah, they've been really good, Farnham. Probably the most dominant I've seen them all season. And it's one of those games where it's just about. Pardon? Where it is. I've got no idea. They'll be in and around. They'll head to the boardroom now, I imagine.
They know where it is, yeah.
I imagine so, yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it's probably the most dominant I've seen Farnham all season in terms of how they've used the ball. But it's a tale of very similar situation that we've seen all season. Farnham just haven't really killed the game off in the first half. Ironically, one of the only games that they have done that is Epsom and Ewell at home when Daz scored a hat-trick in the first 35 minutes. But on the whole, Farnham haven't created a huge amount of chances. They've been actually relatively clinical, bar Adam Liddell chance where he probably should have scored, but they've kept the ball brilliantly.
And, you know, Lewis Flatman's there warming up at half-time. It's only going to get more difficult for Epsom and Ewell as we go forward. But the omission was much talked about, but the man who probably filled that void, Dean Rule, opened the scoring quite brilliantly.
Yeah, it was a really good goal. It was only moments before that Farnham just kind of were looking slightly lacklustre in front of goal. They got to the edge of the penalty area a few times and couldn't quite turn it in. I think Daz had a good opportunity. Owen Dean, Adam Liddell should have scored with a lovely passage of play from back to front. But yeah, Dean Rule he's in hot form and finished with a sumptuous finish into the bottom corner. And yeah, I mean he's looked brilliant, to be honest. I think on the ball he's looked confident. I think you said it in commentary. He's got his swagger back, and he is a joy to watch when he does. Little shimmies past players, little body feints in order to move past those when he takes his first touch. I'm so impressed with him every time I watch him. But what I would say about Dean is he's a form player. When he's in form, he's electric, and it's about keeping him there. And that's where the boys on the touchline need to earn their keep. Really, it's like keeping players like him in form.
And what do you think the turning point was? Because there was a time, sort of December, January, he'd always be the first one subbed if he started, but he's now
Spent a long time on the bench, long time.
But he just seems undroppable, and every time he steps on the pitch, you feel like he's going to contribute at least to a goal. What was that turning point? Was there something on the training pitch, or
I think it was probably that
clicked?
Rayners Lane game in the League Cup. I know we lost, but he was probably one of the only senior players playing in his natural position on that night. He scored a hat-trick, scored a phenomenal third goal, and that just kind of gave him that confidence, a reminder for him that he can do it. And I think it's difficult for lots of these forwards. I think all of them would say individually they've been patchy. I think Shams has been through patches. I think Flatty, clearly has been through patches and is in a purple patch at the moment. Owen Dean, Lids. I think probably the only player in that front four who can honestly say they've been consistent every time they've played is Daz. And it's about keeping these boys in form, but it is hard, right? You've got so many players vying for so many different positions, and even if you're on the pitch and you're playing well, you're looking over your shoulder because you know you're going to get subbed. You know you're only going to get 65, 70 minutes, even if you're playing brilliantly. And sometimes you've got players that are on 2 goals and wanting to stay out there for the hat trick, but you've got players like Flatty, Kai, Charlie, goal scorers off the bench, Shams tonight, that are vying to get on and score their goals. So difficult one, but yeah, Dean has been brilliant over the last sort of 4 weeks, and it's been a delight to see because he's so good. He started the season alongside Daz, played every game, and he got like a quad injury that he just took. It just lingered for much longer than we thought. I think it ended up keeping him out for like 3.5 weeks, and he just went off the ball from there. I think Flatty went for a hot run of form at that point, maybe Owen Dean too, and I think Liddell came in at that point as well. And at that front four just started to look very different. It was difficult to get back in.
On Liddell, you mentioned in commentary when I said about him hunting down Sanders and Edwards that he's going to get the starts. I mean, there has been some rotation, but it does feel at the moment Liddell is borderline one of the first names on the team sheet, and borderline undroppable is what I'm saying.
He just gives you something that very few players at this level can. And also, very few players as defenders are used to playing against. Someone who's willing to drop deep, come left, go right, run in behind, drop short, first touch is phenomenal, little shimmies, very akin to Dean Rule. He's so difficult to mark, he's so difficult to defend against. I think he'll be honest and say he's not scored as many goals as he thought he would. I think he hasn't been as potent in front of goal as I maybe expected him to be, but I think when we didn't have him, like during that time where after he got sent off against Guildford and we missed him for 3 games, the likes of the Vars game that we went out on and a couple of league games that we didn't struggle, but we just didn't look the same Farnham as we did going into Christmas. And he's the difference. The first game he came back, you just remembered how much intensity he runs around the back line, and he's just so difficult to defend against. And also, he's starting to find his shooting boots. And tonight, what a fantastic goal!
I think one of the things that's most impressive about Farnham, I think, is the tenacity and the willingness up front from Liddell, from Dean. I mean, from everybody really. But they definitely don't rest on their laurels, even in games like this where you're against a team that's struggling. It's 2-0. It's not cruising, is it? They still want to win every single ball. They still want to hunt down defenders. Very impressive as someone who watches a lot of games.
They want to win by cricket scores, right? And everyone wants to score. I think that's also another thing that the management team have done really, really well this season is managing selfishness, because there could have easily been a situation where Farnham have loads of players that just want to score goals and squander good opportunities by being too selfish. And I think actually, think back to, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to think about the game. Maybe it was Spelthorne at home, but I don't think it was. It was Abbey, I think. Abbey Rangers at home. Second goal, and Shamal Edwards is in. He's beaten the defender, he's in. Last season, Shams runs down on goal and passes it into the bottom corner. This season, Shams runs down on goal, draws the defender, passes it across the Dean Rule, and he slides it into an open net. It's that clinical like we're going to win as a team and we're going to try and put up as many goals as possible. That's probably changed this season and it's been managed so well by Jimmy and Jono on the touchline.
Yeah, and this little mini run that Farnham have got now tonight, and then obviously Collier's Wood coming up, and then obviously it's Fleet Town, then it's the crunch game with Jersey. But this mini run before the Jersey game, they'll want to pick up a number of points that sort of make it not inevitable that the league title is going to be coming to Farnham, but they can sort of, without saying it, that they can kind of seal it in the next few games, can't they?
Yeah, look, we're looking at when it's possible, and Jono's made no bones about it. You know, this is about winning the league as early as we possibly can, and I think I said it right at the start of the game. It was the mandate at the start of the season: get us out of this league. You know, I know we get a lot of stick, but off the pitch, Farnham Town is a much bigger team than Step 5. I think we even proved it against the likes of Kingstonian, you know, and we have, you know, against Chesham, who are top of that league. You know, we're a very good outfit on the field, of course, but we're really, really, I like to think, a well-run non-league football club, a modern non-league football club off it, and that probably deserves to be playing against other teams that are a bit more like that. And Step 4 gives us an opportunity to do that. There's some really good historic teams in Step 4 as well. And obviously we'll be looking to do something similar in Step 4 next season, but you know, we understand it's going to be a lot harder. But yeah, for us it was a mandate: get us out of this league. Jono's done a great job. We obviously still got work to do, but it's been about as good a start as you could possibly hope for.
And if the league is wrapped up with, I don't know how many games, 6 or 7 to go, what do you think those games will look like after that point? Do you think we'll see anything with a view to next season, or will it just be business as usual, and if they're still unbeaten? And
I think that's probably the key. I think with these players, you're full of so many deep competitors that they're gonna want to be chasing something. Now, first thing is, can we go the whole season without losing a game and drawing? Can we go 100%? Now, I think we're all very clear that that's unlikely. Now, we're doing a very good job of it at the moment, and long may it continue, but it's unlikely. So then it's about, okay, how can we be unbeaten? How can we go 38 games without losing? And that would be an amazing, amazing achievement, regardless of what people say about the squad and people dropping down, etc. Going unbeaten is an incredible achievement. If we don't manage to do that, then I think it's about beating Centurions, getting 100 points, breaking goal scoring records. You know, I think Farnham, and I'm riffing, I think Farnham scored 113 goals, including tonight's 2. So, you know, to be on 113 goals in all comps at this stage is pretty ridiculous. I think so. In the league, I think we're at like 78, 79, which again is completely ridiculous. So it'd be quite nice to score 120, 130 goals, 100 points. But ultimately, the first thing to do is continue this epic winning run and continue to set the bar as high as we possibly can. But yeah, what will those last 6 or 7 games look like if we have wrapped it up? I don't know. I think it also depends on what situation those teams are in. I think this season, because of the playoffs, which for people who don't know is the first season in Step 5 that playoffs have been in. So it's a very, very different dynamic for the sort of 8 clubs that are going after those last 4 spots. And that's why I mentioned Alton earlier this evening, who are currently leading 2-1 away at Fleet. You know, that's a really big result for them because they've played Farnham twice. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you've played Farnham twice on the current run they're in, you've basically got 3 points ahead of everyone else. So it's like proxy. And Alton are in the playoffs currently. They're on a really good run. I think they're in the top 3, top 4 in terms of form, but they've played Farnham twice. The likes of Nap Hill got to play us again. Jersey got to play us twice. Abbey got to play us again. Red Hill have got to play us again. Croydon have got to play us twice. So, you know, I'm not saying we are going to win every game, but we're going to be very difficult to take 3 points off. And the expectation for these teams, especially the teams that have got to play us twice, you can't expect to take 6 points off Farnham. So the likes of Alton and Tadley, who have both played us twice, and yeah, they've lost twice, but it doesn't really matter. Now they can build form, they can build a run without even having to look over their shoulder and look at, you know, potentially dropping points at Farnham, which I think is a massive advantage. And Alton would never have been a team that I picked to be a playoff team this season, but fair play, they're right up there and they're doing great.
Absolutely, and the players are just making their way out for the second half, and they'd love to really pile some goals in the second half, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Farnham have been so good in the last half an hour of games. And it's normally because they've had so much of the ball, and they've never had as much of the ball as they've had tonight. But it's normally because they've had so much of the ball, it's really tiring to defend against, and they just work those openings. And they can bring on players, like we've mentioned a couple of times already, like Shamar Edwards, like Charlie Postons, like Kai Tanner, like Lewis Flatman, who can come in and change the game, and they'd start for pretty much every other team in the league. And not only start, they'd probably be their star. As we looked at Charlie Postons last season, scoring 35 goals for Abbey Rangers. So it'll be a really interesting second half.
Doesn't look like Daryl Sanders has come out.
He'll be using all his time, won't he? Unless they're going to bring Flatty on.
Looks like Lewis Flatman is getting ready actually on the bench over there. So
I imagine it's more precautionary than anything else.
you'd hope so.
Yeah, I mean it didn't look that bad, did it? Yeah, just I think very, very like his injury a week ago.
And Flatman came on and scored a hat-trick when he replaced him that day.
He did. You're right.
And he's got plenty of time to contribute from some goals tonight as
Loves
well.
4G as well, Lewis Flatman. Some of the goals I've seen him score on 4G, because his ability to strike a football is unlike many, especially at this level. The fact that the ball doesn't bobble or do anything weird before you strike it. I mean, he scored from the halfway line against Cobham. He hit the post, the inside the post, from the halfway line against Jersey the week after. Yeah, he scored some pretty silly goals. And yeah, like you said, coming off the back of a hat-trick as he came on for Sanders only 7 days ago.
Yeah, and a great goal against Kingstonian last midweek as well.
That was a good goal. That was a classic Flatty goal. Bit of space, head up, bang it into the bottom corner.
It feels like any time that any player, attacking player in particular this season, has had a little lull in form, they have found a way to bounce back quite quickly.
Yeah.
Him being one of them.
I think they need to. In this squad, you can't just mope around being on the bench. Like, you've got to come on and make an impact. So, yeah, I think we discussed Dean Rule a minute ago. It's exactly the same. Yeah, he's probably had, over the course of the season, he's probably had 5 bad weeks. But he had a really good start, hot start. 5 bad weeks in the middle, couple of niggles, and then I think for the last 4 weeks he's been top 3 performer for us. So he looks like he's enjoying his football. And I think all the boys, it's always nice when you're winning and when you're scoring goals. So hopefully Flatty can come on and do just that.
Yeah, Epsom and Ewell are ready to go as well. I mean, what would the half-time team talk and discussion have been like in that dressing room?
Like I said, my touchline reporter now saying Daz's injury worse than first feared.
Not welcome news.
No.
Just underlines the importance of picking up these wins and getting that title won.
Exactly.
They take nothing for granted.
Exactly. But also highlights the strength and depth, right? We're talking about Flatty, who scored 5 in the last 3. He's coming on.
Yeah, an option that I'm sure many teams in this league would love to have off the bench.
Absolutely, they would. I've asked my touchline reporter for a bit more information on that injury. Opened up his knee, similar to Guy. That is not what I wanted to hear. Guy was out for 3.5 months. Not as severe.
Yes, real disappointment, but Farnham have a job on their hands without him.
Well, that will see him out for probably a month, at the very least.
Big games in that time as well.
Absolutely. There'll be smiles around the league if they find out about that.
Yeah, Jersey, the next real big game, top of the table clash.
Flatty want to get on the ball early, just set himself into the rhythm that Farnham have had in that first half.
But it's Epsom and Ewell that have the first attack. And they switch to play and they leave it for each other. But it's kept in there by Savage. Just keeps hold of it as well.
Great chance here.
And the left-footed shot is blocked by Dean. Danger not over though. Nelson Roberts cuts inside.
Good tackle.
Here's Antwi. Right-footed cross. It's a heavy one. And it's out of play off of Reggie Savage, the substitute. But a bright start for Epsom and York.
Yeah, very similar to the start of the first half. First 5 minutes, Epsom dominated with a couple of early chances from Farnham mistakes.
Just a case of get the next goal for them.
Yeah, Epsom score next. It's anyone's game.
Oldest cliche in the book, but there's a reason it's so often said. We saw it with Spelthorne a couple of weeks ago at the Memorial Ground. As Canane hooks it forward. Dean just gave a little nudge there.
Poor
to
touch
Charles
though.
Brazier.
Owen.
Karoma gets up, and he is going to be penalised. Pleads his innocence, but Edwards upended. Farnham just needs to ensure that the loss of Sanders doesn't affect them too much. Easier said than done with a player of his quality. Provided both goals with his 20th and 21st assists of the season. He'll be hoping they won't be his last. But in his absence, it will, present the chance for Flatman and Rule and Dean to real nail down a place in the side.
Absolutely. And you've got so many options in that 10. Even Owen Dean can drop
Tanner
into
might
that
get some
10.
more minutes.
Tanner. And then if Owen drops in, then you've got Charlie and Shams. So there's so many options, and obviously Daz is a unique player in this side, but you've got plenty of quality throughout the squad, and
they want to stake their claim for next season as much as the back end of this season.
Absolutely.
As well, with a potential step up in leagues. Step 4 is where Farnham want to be this time next year.
That's poor.
Just a bit sluggish to start the second half, but here's Liddell.
It's another
Looking
poor
for
pass.
Rule, who is on his heels a bit there. Brandon Kalu wins it back and is wrestled to the ground.
Oh, it's poor. Ref bought it.
Yeah, it was a foul, but the advantage was there to be played.
See, refs at this level just don't quite read the game. So many chances that Farnham create from quick free kicks and little touches around the corner that sometimes draw fouls.
Liddell thought that was going to be a Farnham throw, but it isn't. Kalu wins the header, and Dean picks up the ball. Here's Flatman. Jackson goes all the way back to Nash.
Yeah, Farnham just need to rebuild from where they were.
I'll get the throw here. Dean.
They're certainly a lot higher, Epsom and Ewell.
Karoma just nudged off it there, but
Brilliant from Ruley.
Rule gets back in. Flatman. And now Jackson. Ryan Canane. He's looked long quite a few times tonight. Instead, goes short to Kalu. And Rule did his best to keep hold of it, but Farnham lose out again. Not been as fluent on the ball as they were first half. Jackson is penalised for the foul on Nelson Roberts. Soft one.
Certainly got much less of an aerial threat with that number 9 who's come off. Not that an aerial threat normally matters that much when you're up against Kinane and Jack Dean.
Good battle there from Nelson Roberts. Did well to keep hold of it. And now Antwi. Tries to switch to play, and it's allowed Dean Rule to intervene.
Just couldn't get it under control.
Here's Green. Harry Cooksley makes the tackle.
Does really well.
Jackson. And now Flatman.
Sensible pass.
Adam Liddell. Driving forward. Finding Owen Dean. And he was looking for the run of Joe Jackson, but he'd checked his run. Maybe Dean would have been better off cutting inside onto his left foot there.
Farnham just try and pass the ball into the back of the net. Just strike it. That's all I want to see. More shots at goal. It's so disappointing when Farnham just try and play the perfect pass.
Shilokan. Cut out by Kinane and then kept in by Kalu.
Done well that.
Long it goes. And Epsom and Ewell definitely having one of their better spells without creating too much.
Yeah, absolutely. They've responded. Flatty's got to keep hold of that ball.
Dean.
It's a poor pass. Farnham just need to settle down.
Shilokan.
Everything's become a bit erratic.
Yeah, just not quite regrouped after the loss of Sanders. And they get the throw that time.
Done nothing silly, but just not keeping hold of the ball like they were. That being a good example.
Up it goes from Nash. Dean Rule looking to flick it on.
Now Farnham should settle down.
Cooksley looked as though Owen Dean was offside, and in fact he knew that. So he didn't even bother going for it.
Oh, if I was Epsom and Ewell, I'd be taking that foul. That offside.
Here's Flatman. And now Rule. Just poor touch from him. Not been the case very often tonight, or in recent weeks. Just a bit of a scrappy period in the game. Jackson. Karoma. Rule. We're now seeing the more patient build-up play from Farnham that we've been accustomed to. As Nash.
No one's attacking it.
Cooksley. Clipped over the top towards Liddell, who will get there. And Tierney
does well, really.
Got it away.
Does well. Max Meaton's just come and sat next to me. Another injury. Another injury problem. As I hear that the pain is easing off for Daryl Sanders. That's a great pass.
That's a lovely ball from Flatman to Rule. Lovely 1-2 there with Owen Dean. Here's Rule onto his left foot. Still not getting the shot off, but Cooksley does! And the flag went up against Dean Rule, which spared him, really. He blazed over from inside the 6-yard box, but Harry Cooksley finally got a shot off when so many others turned down the opportunity.
Oh, it's exactly what I've been talking about for the last 45 minutes. Farnham just needs to shoot. Shoot.
Goalkeeper clearly not comfortable in those situations.
No, he's hardly caught anything. Again, not being disrespectful, I think he's actually been quite good, but he's not held on to anything, and Farnham just are unwilling to let fly from. I mean, even then, Dean Rule, Owen Dean, like inside the box, just strike the ball.
Dean Rule would have been delighted to see the flag go up.
Oh, horrible thing, that is dreadful.
Epsom and Ewell will just sense, they'll just sense that the Farnham level has dipped a little bit.
Definitely has.
Can they capitalise on it?
Even there, Farnham just not reacting.
Eshilokan spreads it. And now Charles Brazier gets the cross in. Pat Nash was equal to it. And it's opened up a little bit now. Flatman, good control on his chest. And he will be penalised there. Charles Brazier defended well.
I'm just trying to be too direct. Completely change how they saw success in the first half. No, I can't remember a single moment where they just kept the ball for 20 seconds or so from around the back.
Toby Colwell. He's made plenty of saves tonight. May well have some more to do before the night's out. Here's Liddell. Over the top, but that's where he'd normally be making the run.
Very, very wasteful. Very, very wasteful from Farnham. It's chalk and cheese versus the first half.
Dean. And Rule was in that little pocket of space and he was brought down by Antwi. Lots of instructions from the Farnham coaching staff being delivered to the 11 on the pitch. Clearly not happy with how this second half has started, but most importantly, they still have that 2-0 lead and are looking to add to it now. As Canane wins his header, it might come for Dean! Should have hit the target from there, really, and waxed the fence in frustration.
It's a brilliant header from Ryan Canane. Does absolutely everything right. And I'm not sure Owen Dean could have asked for a better chance. All he needed to do was slide it underneath the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper was completely stranded. He's kind of jumped to block the high shot. Not hitting the target is not good enough there from Owen Dean.
And he knows it. You could tell by his reaction. It's a chance he should be burying, and Farnham should be home and hosed. I've not seen so much of Ryan Canane from set pieces tonight.
There was a big push from Jimmy, especially to get him into a central area from set pieces. Like he's started the season's kind of like hanging back. He can't generate as much power, and all he's going to do is like head it back across goal, which is not really that useful. He should be there as more of a nuisance, and he's been much more effective in the last couple of weeks from those set pieces. And I mean, he should have had an assist there, really. Hopefully Farnham don't rue that missed chance, although they've had a few.
There might be another one here. Here's Dean. And Flatman! Now he misses the target. Much more difficult chance than what we saw from Dean just now, but still would have liked to have done better there.
It's been a better 5 minutes for Farnham. It's been a very different 5 minutes. Like, it's been rash and scrappy, but it's not been bad. And Farnham have definitely carved out some of the best chances of the game. They've just not been able to put it in the bottom corner of the net like they did in the first half.
Good to see Big Whisk enjoying a pint over there.
Yeah, he's in his natural habitat at the football, in front of his laptop, pint in hand.
Savage helps it on. Canane always so alert in those situations. Right across to Antwi.
What I would say is Epsom will be buoyant from this second half start.
And that's good work there. Very good.
Very good.
From Nelson Roberts. Antwi has time to deliver a cross
here.
And the shot from
He did
Reggie
well to turn it goalwards.
Just not done enough to test Pat Nash. But that was encouraging. Really good work there from Nelson Roberts initially. Showed some good signs. The Epsom and Ewell forward. Dean goes up for the header. And now Liddell flicks it on. There's nobody running beyond.
So Farnham are winning the second balls in the first half. They haven't won them in the second half.
Antwi clips it over the top. The flag goes up against Rory Edwards. But you can see the encouragement among those Epsom and Ewell players. Just haven't tested Pat Nash. That's ultimately the difference. Farnham have created a lot more quality chances.
Oh, way more than in the first half. Way more than in the first half. That Owen Dean chance will be living in his head. That was about as simple a tap-in as you're going to get. And lucky we aren't discussing the Dean rule one because it was offside, because that was even easier.
Felt like Owen Dean was just trying to find the corner when really...
Just needs to slide it underneath the goalkeeper's feet.
But yeah, can't make any excuse for a Dean rule miss. It really was an open goal.
Farnham just need to slow it down. They're 2-0 up. It feels like they're chasing the game. Just relax.
Jackson looking for an option. Comes in the form of Flatman.
Nice.
Switch.
Very good.
Across to Kalu, who isn't renowned for his attacking play.
Yeah, nosebleed. Good.
Karoma. Kalu again. Switched back to Jack Dean. Jackson's in space on the right, but Dean drives through and flicks it over the top. And Owen Dean that time made sure he hit the target, but couldn't get it either side of the goalkeeper. Here's Jack Dean. That's a good save.
Goalkeeper's done really well there, back to back. Jack Dean's basically gone, all you lot are rubbish up front, I'm going to do it myself.
Yeah, a couple of good saves there from Colwell.
That first one was a really, really good save. I think he's just gone on instinct. It was a good strike from Owen. I mean, you'll say he should score, and he probably should, but it was a really, really good save.
Over the top it goes again. And
that was the sort of momentum changer that Farnham needed from Jack Dean.
Yeah, we know he can be effective.
What a pass that is.
Rule into the box.
Oh,
cuts back.
I'm so sick of us not shooting.
And the opportunity goes big against a corner, but could have been so much more.
Farnham down.
Trying to create the perfect chance.
I mean, we've created that. We still didn't stick it in the back of the net.
I just feel like Owen Dean was very conscious of hitting the target there after his earlier miss.
I honestly, I don't think I can. I'll obviously see it back in the highlights, but I don't think I can blame him for that one so much. Goalkeeper made a really, really good save. But you're right. I think the moment only 5 minutes ago was living in his head.
Kinane's underneath this one. Gets the head on it. And it's off the line. Jack Dean again going close. Kinane! Decent effort from the centre-back.
How many chances? How many chances? Epsom defended really well and keeping themselves in this game.
He's got 6 goals to his name this season, Ryan Kinane, but hasn't scored in a while.
Yeah,
in the league, anyway.
Scored in the Vars, didn't he? Scored against Bridgewater. Scored a few in the Vars. Scored against Snodland. Scored against Harefield in the first game of the season, FA Cup.
Flatman's going to pick up this second ball. He was looking for Owen Dean there. They've made an excellent run. Edwards. Interesting ball down the line, but
it's offside. I'm going to take a look at the scores around the grounds. About half hour to go. Tooting leading Cobham 2-1. They're on a good run, Tooting. No other goals. Snaphill still drawing at Camberley. And Alton still winning at Fleet. Like I said, that's probably the most interesting game, but obviously for Farnham, Naphill dropped points, whilst Farnham win would be a massive, massive change. Oh, that's poor. Massive, massive change to the look of the table.
Savage looking to turn around Kalu, who did bring him down. That's a few fouls now Kalu's committed on Savage. No card though for the left back. Referee keen.
It's one of those ones that in the blue card debate is that a cynical challenge. Difficult one.
It's not open that can of worms.
No, absolutely not. We obviously do have sin bins in this level, but it's just for dissent, and it's a 10 game minutes, which in itself is quite difficult to referee.
Charles Brazier, good control there. And it's switched across to Nelson Roberts. Looks to get around Joe Jackson, who defends the situation very well.
It was a brave pass from Jackson.
And really well done by Liddell. Looking for Owen Dean, who will get there. He's got Dean Rule in the middle. He's got Jackson in support as well. Here's Flatman. Owen Dean. Flatman in the box. Turned and shot, but it was a tame effort.
It was a great move from Farnham, though. It was direct, quick. Adam Liddell did really, really well after a sensible pass from Joe Jackson. And Owen Dean did well, to be fair, to get it back into a shooting opportunity. But again, Farnham squander another chance to kill this game.
And that was classic Joe Jackson, really, defending at one end, winning the tackle, winning the ball back, playing a great pass to Liddell.
There will be an attacking change for Farnham Town in the next couple of minutes. And it will be Shamal Edwards.
Yeah, Harry Cooksley has gone down. Just a late tackle there from Adam Green.
By the way, the Savage, the two Savages on the pitch are father and son.
Wow.
For the second time in club history, we have a father and a son on the pitch. Mecky Savage is joined by his dad, Reggie Savage.
How nice.
Yeah, nice little bit of history there. Looks like it'll be Owen Dean. It is. Is it Owen Dean? That's what I'm told by my touchline reporter.
Yeah, Mecky Savage has been one of some of yours brighter sparks tonight. Same can be said for Ethan Nelson Roberts.
It is Owen Dean. He makes way for Farnham Town's top goal scorer, Shamal Edwards.
He'll be kicking himself, Owen Dean, coming away with no goals tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have asked for better chances, could he? Even Max Meaton would score one of those.
Shamal Edwards will hope to have greater success in front of goal. Neck and neck with Daryl Sanders for top scorer. Adam Liddell starting to breathe down their necks. That one was overhit. Yeah, we said at half-time we wanted to see some goals in the second half.
We were wrong. We were wrong.
But we're getting towards that last sort of 20 minutes where Farnham tend to be their most clinical.
Yeah, that's about where we are. It is still 0-0, Camberley versus Naphill. All the scores are as reported 5 minutes ago.
Jack Dean looking for the run of Shamal Edwards.
Great header.
Touch for him.
Great header from Edwards. Offers you something very, very different, Shamal Edwards. And again, as a defender, you just don't want to be seeing these sort of players come off the bench because they're so different to each other, but obviously still so good in front of goal.
That's a lovely touch there by Savage, senior. Here's Cooksley.
He's offside.
Flag goes up.
That's the most frustrating thing for me with Shams. It's like he's got so much pace. Doesn't need to try and time his run to perfection. Just give the defender a yard. You're going to beat him. Farnham will be desperate for this third goal. It will take some pressure off.
Yeah, the fresh legs of Edwards. Always a threat at this stage of the game. Ball goes out of play.
Lest we remind you that obviously if Farnham do win, we believe that we set a new British record, 22 wins in a row from the start of the season. Yes, we know it's not the longest win streak in British history. That's not what we're claiming. We're claiming the longest win streak from the start of a season. We believe the only team to have equalled our current run, 21, is AFC Wimbledon when they reformed in this very league, the combined counties. We also have Reading. I think Reading did like 13 or 14 straight wins in 1986. Obviously well past that now. But Farnham Town 2-0 to the good, and we'll be looking for a third just to kill this off and give themselves a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, Epsom and Ewell will have other ideas, but they're running out of time.
Man on the edge of the box here.
Can they get a good cross in here? They'll have a corner.
They've been good this second half. Their response to the half-time team talk has been very, very positive.
Set-piece delivery hasn't been excellent so far. Tierney, the tallest player in the box for Epsom and Ewell, and it's him that's closest to it, Pat Nash. Takes it, and Lewis Flatman was screaming for it instantly.
What a great piece of distribution that is as well from Pat Nash.
Flatman carries it forward.
Someone needs to make a run, help him out.
Yeah, he has to come backwards in the end to Cooksley.
It's good though. Much better from Farnham Town. Came from a really good piece of goalkeeping from Pat Nash.
And now Kalu. Decent cross.
Where's that going?
Up in the air. And Little. And surely for Edwards. It's blocked. Another big chance goes begging.
I mean, how hasn't, I can hardly see it from here, but how hasn't Adam Liddell scored? It's just dropped straight to him, isn't it? Right in front of the goalkeeper, 2 yards out.
It's been one of those nights.
God.
2-0, definitely not a true reflection of the quality of the chances.
God, no. It's felt like a 6-0 game. Well, Epsom have been good in the second half. That's really good from Shams.
I was looking there for Lewis Flatman. Farnham knocking on the door. Does feel as though it's a matter of when, not if. It's got to be more clinical.
Well, again, you know, for all of Epsom and Ewell's like extra energy, and you know they've been really so much better than they were in the first half. They haven't really created anything clear cut, have they?
No.
You know, Pat's only real.
Edwards onside. Cooksley. Ryan Kinane out of position now as Epsom and Ewell.
Chance here for Epsom and Ewell.
Look to counter. Kinane with a late tackle.
He'll take a yellow there.
Can't have any complaints. Got caught out of position. He does have complaints.
I don't think he's really complaining about the tackle. It wasn't. It was just one of those tackles.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing. To be fair to Ryan, you rarely see him go to ground. He only ever goes to ground when he really, really needs to. He's normally so ahead of the ball, but he got caught out there going forward, and you know, it's probably the right decision, to be honest.
Good shout there from Pat Nash. Allowed Kinane to leave it. They love a clean sheet, those two.
Absolutely, they will.
Been a constant in this Farnham side, Nash and Kinane.
It's good.
Edwards.
No one gave him a shout. Absolutely no one gave him a shout. He was shielding the ball from the imaginary man there, Jamal Edwards. No one gave him a shout. Great.
Very calmly done by Cooksley. Kalu is beaten to it. And this might be an opportunity for Epsom and Ewell. Cooksley got in there, but it's still going to be a shot there by Adam Green.
Who's that down? Kalu?
Yeah.
We need Max Meaton on.
Yeah, Kalu needs some attention.
That's probably the most open an opportunity that Epsom have had in open play.
Yeah, you had the Reggie Savage one from a similar sort of distance, but
as in they had a bit of space on the right-hand side to pick out across rather than having to stand it up.
Players will take this opportunity to have a drink.
It's about as bad as I've seen Farnham be in front of goal.
Yeah, they've all of them have basically missed chances.
Yeah.
Edwards, Liddell, Dean, Rule.
Daz early.
Very uncharacteristic.
Cooksley, Jack Dean. Even Brandon had an opportunity right at the start to get forward and he got a headache.
Yeah, Tom Smith's going to replace him by the looks of things.
Yeah, probably the right thing to do.
So second player has had to come off due to injury tonight. Last thing Farnham need, but these things do happen at this stage of the campaign.
Yeah, and what I would say is Farnham have got a very lean squad. I think only carry 17 players. That's right, yeah, 17 players in the squad. So it's very lean, which means that injuries do hurt. Obviously, Daryl Sanders went off injured earlier this game. Max Meaton is sat to my right, injured. And Brandon Kalu has now come off injured. But I think, to be fair, the position we've had the most injuries this season is at fullback, which is one of the reasons we've got Joe Jackson at right back tonight.
Somewhere he looks very natural though.
He's looked really good. By that sort of mistake at the first couple of minutes, he's been very solid.
Liddell went up for the header, didn't win it. And it's a bit of pinball around the centre circle. It's going to end up with Lewis Flatman looking for the runner Shamal Edwards. Just a bit too much on that one.
Yeah, that's sort of thing I want to see though. Stretch of defence with about 12 to go. $300 of you watching online, trying to watch Farnham win their 22nd game in a row. But Epsom and Ewell are up for the challenge.
Jackson's header. And Antwi happy to give away the throw. Jackson looking for Edwards quickly. And then Antwi again gets a foot on it. Farnham just gaining territory. Here's Flatman. And now Rule looking backwards.
He actually did really well there, Lamar. Got the ball caught under his feet.
Kinane looking for Edwards. It's defended well. And then away by Charles Brazier for another Farnham throw. Clock ticking down.
Yeah, about 10 to go.
Flatman's seen plenty of the ball since coming on. Gives it away there though. Now it's Nelson Roberts. Good one
Nice
too.
Epsom.
But they come backwards. And it's flicked around the corner. And Gassi was trying to make something of that. Tom Smith just did enough. Flatman loses his footing.
Is he all right there, Flatman? Yeah, he is.
Nelson Roberts. Just did a bit too much in the end. But they'll come forward again.
Epsom look good here. They're threatening him. Didn't yet to carve out a true chance.
Away by Smith, and now Flatman. Farnham can reset. Harry Cooksley has time to turn.
Cooksley's been really good though in there, in the middle. Kept the ball ticking over.
Edwards.
Does really well there, Shamal Edwards.
And a good control there by Liddell. Still working tirelessly.
Sensible.
Rule caught late there by Adam Green, and no way the referee wasn't going to reach for a card that time.
Yeah, it's just clever, isn't it? Farnham just step ahead.
That's another
him.
knock for a Farnham player, but it looks like Rule.
He's fine.
It's
just one of those ones you just get caught out from behind.
Yeah, it's a quick feet of Rule, too much there.
Yeah, a player we haven't seen as much of in the second half, but he was so instrumental to Farnham's lead in the first.
Yeah, opened the scoring tonight. A lead that Adam Liddell added to. Farnham would love to win this half as well. Jack Dean looking for options. Decides his best one is Pat Nash.
This is no bad thing for Farnham.
Rule. Tom Smith. Long it goes from
Great ball,
Kane.
by the way.
Rule. Just couldn't bring it under. Karama's touch allows it to go back to Jack Dean. And now Jackson. Pat Nash seeing a lot of the ball now. He's looking for Rule.
Good kick, good header.
Adam Liddell.
Just drive at him, Adam.
Jackson screaming for it on the opposite flank. Liddell maybe took the wrong option there. Trying to drive into the box and make something happen for himself. Had better options.
Yeah, less said about that one, the better. Farnham have been really poor in this second half, and I think Paul Johnson, Jimmy Hewitt will be pretty disappointed in the get back into the dressing room. Yes, Farnham are probably going to win this game and make it 22 on the bounce, but it's not been what you want to see in the second half. At no point have they killed the game, and Epsom have been very good in the second half, to be honest. They've kept themselves in it.
Dean Rule been replaced there by Kai Tanner, and Charlie Postance also getting ready to come on, and Adam Liddell makes way for him, so both goal scorers depart. Postance and Tanner have less than 10 minutes to make an impact. Postance looking to win the ball high up the pitch there, and the pressure has paid off. Here he is, Postance.
Scored the third goal here against Cobham.
Edwards does well to keep hold of it, and now Flatman over the top for Postance, and his header was nowhere near the target really.
I think it's come off his shoulder. It was clever from Flatman to work the opening.
Antwi. Nelson Roberts.
85th minute. And Farnham will just let that one go.
Yeah, they're closing in on another win. Not been vintage Farnham from start to finish, but 3 points is the most important thing.
It does feel odd saying that because it's probably the most clear-cut chance I've seen Farnham create and not score.
Edwards. Harry Cooksley shows his appreciation for Edwards' effort there.
Thought it was good there.
Postance can't quite hold that one up. And now here's Charles Brazier.
Alton make it 3-1. That's poor from Kinane.
Clearance wasn't his best. Charles Brazier looking to cross it in from deep. And it's going to come here for Nelson Roberts.
What a good
chance.
That
was probably their best chance of the game.
What a good chance. It's actually 3-2 in that Alton game. Alton lead 3-2. Knapp Hill, which is one that's probably the most relevant to Farnham, is still 0-0 at Camberley. What I would say about that is I was not expecting that game to be on based on that pitch. And that would be a massive leveller for a Camberley side against a high-flying Knapp Hill.
Flatman goes up and wins it. Here's Edwards, and it's 3-on-3 momentarily there. And we was defended pretty well tonight, in fairness, at left back. Not been an easy night to be a fullback.
Oh, Jesus, that was a risky, risky pass from Jack Dean. Following a pin back here a bit.
Smith and Karoma. Where's this high press been all night?
Don't.
Harry Cooksley coming back to help out.
Harry Cooksley's in his no running mode. He'll just sit, pick up the ball, move it on.
Nash looking for Flatman.
That's good.
Here's Karoma.
Really good.
Tanner turns and looks for the run of Edwards. Flag does stay down and Edwards does get a touch on it, but rather like Adam Liddell in the first half, as the keeper came out and he tried to take it round him. Just a heavy touch.
Goldie did really well. Did well to not make any contact with him. It was a great pass from Kai Tanner. Sherms kind of did a dance, a little pirouette to get in, but couldn't quite force a strike. As the Epsom and Ewell fans leave the ground.
Yeah. That Nelson Roberts chance a moment ago was one that really needed to go in if they were going to get back into this game.
Still not over though.
In comes the cross. Smith gets a touch on it, but the shot from Adam Green, it was lucky that took a deflection because it was well struck.
It was a great chance. It was a really, really good chance. And you just feel like they needed to take that in order for this to have any chance of going to 2-2. But Epsom have been a credit to themselves in this second half, I have to say.
Yeah, the one criticism we levelled at them was that they hadn't created good chances, but in these last 5 minutes they've created two that could have easily turned out better for them.
Nash strategically wasted a bit of time there.
Edwards wins another header.
Good
Constance,
touch.
looking for Tanner. Ball just bounced off him. But Flatman's going to cut out that pass and maybe go for goal. It was audacious. Typical Flatman.
I've seen him do it a few times, to be fair. I've seen him do it a few times. But one of those moments where probably, strategically, you want to keep hold of the ball.
That's a foul by
Silly
Flatman.
tackle.
Maybe there is time for one more chance for Epsom and Ewell.
I'm not sure how much injury time there'll be, but we're into it, that's for sure. Maybe 4, 5. These are the chances that Epsom are going to need to take to upset the party.
Kane wins the header, but it will come for Reggie Savage. Jack Dean stands him up. Savage still has it though, and now
He's free now.
And it took a nick off Cooksley, and now Farnham can break. Flatman looking for Postance. Charlie Postance might be in here for Farnham. Can he take his chance? He very nearly did. It was a good strike, just over the bar from the big forward.
It was a great strike. It was a great strike. Another chance though for Farnham goes begging.
Adam Green. Edwards looking wide for Charles Brazier. Driving forward, not giving up. Here
Done well
at Ewell. The cross was just far too heavy.
It's just not what they needed in that time.
Sort of sums up their night. Just not enough quality in the final third.
You're in the 92nd minute now. Apparently Mansfield are winning 9-2. Beating Harrogate.
Nash in no rush. As Farnham edge towards that magic number, 22. Beyond their wildest dreams at the start of the season, but it's about to become a reality. Flicked on by Tanner. And now here's Flatman.
Keep hold of the ball, Farnham.
Smith has made a run forward. Flatman always wants to be positive. Here's Edwards. It's going to fall here for Flatman. Lewis Flatman's effort. Well, you can't blame him for taking it on. It was a very similar position to where he scored against Kingstonian from last week. This time, cuts across it too much.
It's a good strike though, wasn't it? It's a good strike, but another chance for Farnham. Another chance. Don't blame him for taking that one on though. We're into the dying embers of this game.
Cooksley flicks it on. And that is full time. Farnham Town secure the 3 points. Goals in the first half from Dean Rule and Adam Liddell. Final score, Epsom and Ewell 0, Farnham Town 2, and it is 22 wins, a record 22 wins from the start of the season on the bounce. Farnham Town marching towards a title.
A very solid Farnham Town display. Should have been more goals. I think we can all accept that. Second half was poor in front of goal. We created loads of clear-cut chances. But Farnham won't remember that at the end of the season. It's 3 points. It's a double against Epsom, as they have with so many teams so far this season already. And it's 22 wins from 22 games played, 66 points. I mean, like you just said, wouldn't have been in our wildest dreams at the start of the season, but here we are. And what an achievement by those boys out on the pitch.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Up next for Farnham Saturday, Colliers Wood. Another opportunity to pick up some more points in their quest for the title.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't subscribed already, please do drop a subscribe on your way out. We thank you very much for joining us over the Champions League this evening here at Epsom and Ewell, the Reg Madrox Stadium of Cobham. Farnham Town run out 2-0 winners. It should have been more, but they won't care. 22 wins from 22. We roll on Saturday.